Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a deep dive into something that I think is pretty interesting.
Uh-huh.
It's this idea of AI overthinking.
Oh,
So, like those moments when even a super smart machine might be taking just one too many steps to solve a problem.
right. Yeah, like they're really thinking too hard about something that's pretty simple.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we've got this research paper that we're going to be diving into today that's called Do Not Think That Much for 2 plus 3 on the overthinking of O1 like LLMs.
Uh-huh.
Even the title kind of makes me laugh a little bit.
It really sets the stage. Like,
Yeah.
you know this is going to be a fun paper, and
Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah.
So the researchers are looking at a specific type of large language model, or LLM, that's really good at using what's called chain of thought reasoning.
Okay.
And these are what the paper refers to as O1-like models.
Okay, so let's break that down a little bit.
Sure.
So chain of thought reasoning.
Yeah.
That means that the AI is basically taking a problem and breaking it down into smaller steps.
Uh-huh.
Kind of like how we as humans might think through a complex question.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a really powerful technique that allows these models to tackle much more complex problems than they could before. But what the researchers found was that
Yeah.
this strength can sometimes become a weakness.
Because they overthink.
Exactly, they overthink.
Right.
And so the paper uses this really simple example to illustrate this idea of AI overthinking.
Okay.
And it's the equation 2 plus 3.
Okay.
Now, you or I, or a more basic AI, would just immediately spit out the answer 5, right?
Right.
But an O1-like model might actually generate a whole sequence of steps to try to arrive at that answer.
Okay.
In some cases, we've even seen them produce 13 different ways to solve this elementary problem.
13 ways to solve 2 plus 3.
Yeah.
Wow, that's commitment.
Right.
I can almost picture the AI like sweating over this.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where this concept of efficiency comes in. Because it's not just about getting to the right answer, it's about getting there in the most efficient way possible.
So it's almost like in the AI world, time is money, or maybe processing power is money.
Yeah, I like that analogy.
Okay.
And to measure this efficiency, the researchers developed two key metrics: outcome efficiency and process efficiency.
Okay, tell me more about those.
Yeah, so I think you can probably guess outcome efficiency is all about whether all of those extra steps actually help the AI arrive at the right answer.
Right. So if the AI gets to the right answer in the first step, then all those other steps are not really necessary.
Exactly. From an outcome perspective, those are totally unnecessary.
Makes sense.
And then process efficiency digs a little bit deeper, and it asks whether the AI is actually genuinely exploring different approaches to solving this problem,
Okay.
or is it just repeating the same logic in a slightly different way?
Uh-huh.
So for instance, if it solves 2 plus 3 by saying 2 plus 3, 5,
Yeah.
and then the next step is it's 5 because 2 and 3 make 5.
Mhm.
That's not really demonstrating that much diverse thinking, is it?
It's like that friend who, keeps rephrasing the same point in the conversation. You're like, I got it the first time.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So the researchers wanted to see how these O1-like models performed on a range of tasks,
Okay.
not just simple arithmetic.
So they threw some harder problems at them.
They did. They used data sets like ASDIV and GSM8K, which have more challenging math problems,
Uh-huh.
and even Math 500, which pulls problems from high school math competitions.
Okay, so we're going from, basic addition to like high school level stuff.
Yeah,
That's quite a jump.
yeah, it is.
What did they find?
One of the interesting findings was that this overthinking tendency was actually more pronounced on the easier problems.
So you're telling me that even when the solution is straightforward, these like super advanced AI models still get bogged down in all this complexity?
It seems that way.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, and it raises questions about how we can help these models become more efficient thinkers, especially as we task them with increasingly complex challenges.
So how did the researchers try to tackle this overthinking problem?
Well, they turned to a technique called self-training, which is essentially a way for the AI to learn from its own experiences.
Uh-huh.
So it's like giving it a bunch of practice problems
Okay.
and then providing feedback on which solutions were the most efficient and effective.
Interesting. So they're not just feeding the AI information, they're actually helping it to kind of develop its own problem-solving strategies.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And they experimented with a few different approaches to this self-training.
Uh-huh.
One involved encouraging the AI to favor shorter, more concise solutions.
Okay.
Another one focused on promoting diversity of thought, ensuring that the AI wasn't just repeating the same logic over and over.
Okay, and this is where it gets really fascinating right now.
Yeah.
So did these self-training techniques actually work? Were they able to make the AI more efficient, but without sacrificing accuracy.
That's what we'll delve into in part 2.
Oh, a cliffhanger. I'm
Yeah.
hooked. I can't wait to hear more about those results and what it all means for us humans who might be prone to a little bit of overthinking ourselves.
I think you'll find it illuminating.
Awesome. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Okay, so we left off talking about this idea of self-training for AI,
Right.
where the researchers were like teaching the models to think more efficiently.
Uh-huh.
So what happened when they put these techniques to the test?
Well, they found some pretty impressive results, actually, even when they tested the AI on these much more complex problem sets. Like, they used data sets like GPQA, which is a collection of graduate-level science questions,
Whoa.
and then A, which is problems from advanced math competitions.
Wow. Okay, so we're talking like graduate level science and advanced math.
Yeah,
This is a far cry from our 2+3 example.
it is. But even when faced with these super challenging problems, the AI models that had been trained to be more efficient were able to hold their own, and in many cases, they actually improved their accuracy while using significantly fewer tokens.
Okay, hold on. Remind me what tokens are again. It's
Yeah.
been a while since my last AI deep dive.
Yeah, so a token is basically a chunk of text. It could be a word, a number, a punctuation mark,
Okay.
anything that the AI processes as a unit.
Hmm.
So fewer tokens means the AI is essentially thinking more concisely and using less computational effort to get to the answer.
Okay, so the AI is getting smarter and faster.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a win-win.
It is.
So tell me more about these self-training strategies. What do they actually involve?
Well, one of the strategies they really honed in on was something called length preference optimization.
Okay.
And this basically involved training the AI to favor shorter and more direct answers.
So it's like teaching the AI to just get to the point without all the rambling.
Exactly.
I could use some of that training myself sometime.
Yeah, me too.
So did it work?
It worked remarkably well.
Wow.
They saw a significant reduction in the length of the AI's responses by encouraging it to favor brevity.
Okay.
But importantly, this didn't come at the expense of accuracy.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
So they were able to make it more efficient without sacrificing its ability to actually get the right answer.
Exactly.
It's like teaching the AI to be a better communicator in a way.
Yeah, I like that.
Did they try any other approaches?
They did. They realized that sometimes the AI would generate multiple solutions that were essentially saying the same thing in different ways.
Right, like those 13 different ways to solve 2+3.
Exactly.
The AI's commitment to thoroughness, even when it wasn't necessary.
Yeah, so they experimented with the techniques to kind of simplify the AI's responses and eliminate some of those redundant solutions.
Okay, so it's like decluttering the AI's thought process a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
So did they find any approaches that were like particularly effective?
Well, one of the most straightforward methods was called first correct solutions. And with this, they basically just told the AI to stop thinking once it reached the right answer.
Okay, that seems pretty logical.
Right.
Did it work?
It did. It worked especially well on the easier problems,
Okay.
and it significantly reduced the length of the AI's responses.
Mhm.
But they found that on those more complex tasks, that this approach sometimes fell a little bit short.
So even AI can benefit from like slowing down and thinking things through a little bit more carefully.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Interesting. So did the researchers find a way to address that?
They did. They came up with this more nuanced approach that they called first correct solutions plus reflection.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What's the reflection part?
So it's like a clever tweak to the previous method.
Okay.
Instead of just stopping at the first correct solution, they encourage the AI to consider the second correct solution as well.
Okay.
So it's still getting to the right answer quickly,
Uh-huh.
but it also has a chance to kind of reflect on its reasoning process and consider these alternative perspectives.
So it's almost like encouraging the AI to like double check its work.
Exactly. Make sure it hasn't overlooked anything important.
Gotcha.
And this approach proved to be a really good sweet spot. It maintained these high levels of accuracy even on those really challenging problems, from GPQA and A,
Yeah.
while being much more efficient than that original overthinking AI.
It's amazing how these like subtle tweaks to the training process can make such a big difference in how the AI thinks.
It really is.
Yeah, and what's really cool is that these strategies for combating overthinking aren't just limited to math problems.
Right.
The researchers observed similar results when they applied these techniques to other types of tasks, like language understanding and logical reasoning.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty remarkable.
It is, and it seems like we're starting to uncover some of these fundamental principles of efficient thinking
Yeah.
that could apply across different domains, not just for AI, but for us humans as well.
It's so interesting how this deep dive into AI research has turned into a reflection on our own thinking habits.
Yeah.
It's like we've uncovered this hidden connection between human and artificial intelligence.
It is a reminder that the study of AI isn't just about building smarter machines.
Uh-huh.
It's also about understanding the nature of intelligence itself, both human and artificial.
And maybe, just maybe, by learning from these AI models and all their little quirks, we can discover new ways to enhance our own cognitive abilities.
It's a really cool thought.
It is. Okay, so that's a lot to think about, but I think we should probably move on to part 3.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we've been talking about how AI can get caught up in overthinking, kind of like we humans do.
Right.
But it's interesting that the researchers were able to train the AI to become more efficient thinkers.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder if we can learn anything from those training techniques.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if these AI models are built to kind of mimic how our brains work,
Right.
and they benefit from strategies like length preference optimization or first correct solutions plus reflection,
Mm-hmm.
maybe we could apply those same principles to our own thinking.
Yeah, okay, I like that idea.
Yeah.
So where do we even start?
Well, I think a good starting point is awareness.
Okay.
Like, the researchers kept track of the AI's token usage.
Right, right.
That's like how much effort it's putting in.
Yeah.
Maybe we could start paying attention to our own mental energy,
Yeah?
Are we actually using our brain power wisely, or are we just spinning our wheels and getting stuck in these, like, thought loops?
Ooh, I feel very seen right now. I definitely get stuck in those thought loops sometimes.
Yeah, it happens to all of us, especially when we're dealing with tough situations.
Right.
But what if we try to be more like the AI and just simplify things a bit?
Okay.
Instead of getting lost in all the possibilities, what if we focus on finding the most direct solution?
So kind of like that first correct solution that they use.
Exactly. Just get to the point.
Yeah.
But of course, we don't want to oversimplify to the point that we miss important details.
Right, right. We still need to think things through.
Exactly. And that's where the reflection comes in. Even after we find a solution, it can be helpful to step back and look at it from different angles.
It's all about finding the right balance.
Uh-huh.
We want to be efficient, but we don't want to skip the critical thinking part.
Exactly. It's finding that sweet spot where we can be both efficient and insightful.
It's funny how we started by talking about AI,
Yeah.
and now we're actually reflecting on our own thinking habits.
I know, right? It's like we've stumbled upon this connection between how humans think and how AI operates.
It's like the study of AI isn't just about making smarter machines.
Right.
It's about figuring out what intelligence really is, in all its forms.
Yeah.
And maybe by learning from these AI models and their quirks, we can actually figure out ways to make ourselves think better.
It's a fascinating thought.
That's a pretty cool idea. All right, so I think we've given everyone a lot to chew on today.
Yeah, definitely.
Any final thoughts for our listeners out there?
I just encourage everyone to keep thinking about these issues. The world of AI is constantly changing,
Yeah.
and with each new discovery, we learn more about these machines and about ourselves.
I couldn't have said it better myself. So to all our listeners out there, we want to hear from you. Have you ever caught yourself overthinking like an AI?
Yeah.
What tricks do you use to stay focused and efficient when you're working on tough problems? Share your stories, your aha moments, and maybe even your tips for avoiding those mental rabbit holes.
Right.
Because this deep dive isn't just about the information, it's about starting a conversation.
Yeah.
So let's keep the conversation going. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thanks.